Morning, Wednesday, May 17th, 2023, baseball records on base percentage. I like to look at Hall of Fame baseball players and see what was their career on base percentage and what was their best season getting on base. I have 169 players I'm going to rank 1 through 169. 168 of them are in the Hall of Fame. One of them is not, Pete Rose. But I included him in my list because I think he belongs in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Who is number one career with on-base percentage in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Ted Williams, Teddy Ballgame. His career on-base percentage, .482. Almost half the time in his career, he was on base. .482. 500 would be half, right? 1,000 would be every time you got up, you got on base. But nobody can do that. But how about doing it half the time? Ted Williams, Teddy Ballgame, the Splendid Splinter. .482 career. And his high for one season, .553. So for one season, over half the season, he was on base. .553 one season. That's the highest. Who's number two on base? Babe Ruth. .474 career. .545 was his high. He's got a lot of walks. On base. Number three, Billy Hamilton. .455 career. And .521 was his best season. So far I have three players in the Baseball Hall of Fame who got on base 45% of the time career. Just three. The rest, you got a lot of people in the 400s, and then you have 300s, and even some in the 200s. But as far as the season, getting on base half the time, there's a select few who have done it. Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, Billy Hamilton. I told you their season. .553 was his high for Williams. .545 for Ruth. .521 for Hamilton. How about the other guys who had a season 500 or better? Roger Hornsby, .507. Mickey Mantle, .512. These are their best seasons. Ed Delante, .500. Joe Kelly, .502. Scroll down the list here. And Hugh Duffy, .502. These are the only guys in the Baseball Hall of Fame that have a season, their best season, getting on half the time, 500 or better. Was there anybody else? I'm scrolling down the list. Nope. Nobody else can do it. There's a select few that had a season getting on half the time. How about that? Hugh Duffy, Joe Kelly, Ed Delante, Mickey Mantle, a lot of walks, Roger Hornsby, Billy Hamilton, Babe Ruth, and Ted Williams are the select few who had a season of 500 or better getting on base. And there's only three that got on 45% of the time for their whole career, 45%. Let's go down the list. Lou Gehrig, .447. His high was 478. Didn't have a 500. Roger Hornsby, 434. His high, 507. Jimmy Fox, 428. 469 for Fox was his high. How about Ty Cobb's 433 on base career? He had a high of 486. He didn't get on half the time for his best, but 486 is close. Chris Speaker, 428 career, 479. Dan Brothers, 423 career, 471 was his high. Eddie Collins, 423. 468 was his high. So those are the top 10 career. 553 for Williams. And number 10, Eddie Collins, 423 career on base. Let's go down the list. Not going to name their best seasons, but I will name their career on base percentage, okay? Mickey Mantle, 421. Frank Thomas, Mickey Cochran, 419. Edgar Martinez, 418. Stan Musial, 417. Wade Boggs, Jesse Burkett, 415. Mel Ott, 414. Hank Greenberg, 412. Ed Delonte, 411. Barry Heilman, Jackie Robinson, 410. Jeff Bagwell, 408. Archie Vaughn, 406. Paul Wainer, Charlie Gehringer, 404. Jim Thome, Joe Kelly, 402. Chipper Jones, Ricky Henderson, 401. You think Henderson, he had a lot of walks in his career. You think he would have a better on base. Just 401. 40% of the time. Still good. And Larry Walker, 400. So that covers the guys in the 400s. There were only, how many were in the 500s? Nobody. Nobody in the 500s. But there were 345 or better. Williams, Ruth, and Billy Hamilton, 45% higher. And then the other guys are 40, 44, 43, 42. And we're at Larry Walker, 400. Now the rest of these guys are in the 300s as far as on base. Ross Young's Luke Appling, 399 on base. Ralph Kiner, Joe DiMaggio, 398. You think DiMaggio would have had a higher on base. Didn't strike out that much. Johnny Mize, Roger Connor, Early Combs, 397. Richie Ashburn, 396. Earl Averill. And Hack Wilson, 395. Camp Hansen, Frank Chance, 394. Rod Carew, Bill Terry, 393. Joe Morgan, 392. He got a lot of walks. Honus Wagner, Joe Sewell, Huey Jennings, 391. Joe Cronin, 390. Larry Doby, Elmer Flick, 389. Tony Gwynn, 388. You'd think he got on a lot with a lot of hits. Didn't strike out that much, but it's only 388 on base. Willie Keeler, 388. He's another guy. Got on a lot. Goose Goslin, Minnie Minoso, 387. Kiki Kyler, Hugh Duffy, Roger Bresnahan, and Fred Clark, 386. Tim Raines, 385. Frank Robinson, 384. How about Willie Mays, 384 on base? Compare that with Ted Williams, 480. So Williams got on much more than Willie Mays. Sam Thompson, 384. Bill Dickey, Ennis Slaughter, 382. Mike Schmidt, David Ortiz, Duke Snyder, Al Simmons, Tony Lazario, Nat Lajoie, and Lou Bourgeois, all 380. on base. George Sisler, 379. Kyle Yastrzemski, Vladimir Guerrero, and Chuck Klein, 379. Rick Farrell, 378. Derek Jeter, Henny Manouche, Fred McGriff, Mike Piazza, 377. Harmon Killebrew, 376. Eddie Matthews and Al Kaline, 376. All right, I'm going to stop there. That's 85 players I've ranked. What do you think? On base percentage. That's what you want to do. The goal in baseball is to get on base, right? So by looking at these guys, you have to already assume and make the proclamation. Ted Williams is the greatest on-base percentage baseball player of all time. Did you know he had a streak of 84 games in a row of getting on base? That will never be broken. 84 games on base, either walk, hit, single, homer, whatever, base hit. 84 games in a row, and he holds 2 records on the on-base percent, 3 records. 84 games in a row. He has the highest on-base percentage career, 482, among baseball players in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And for a single season, he holds the record, 553 on base. Now, you may say some of the Negro League players had good on-base percentages too, but they didn't play as many games, and their stats are not as accurate as the Baseball Reference. How about Babe Ruth's 474 career? So he was 5 short of Williams. Williams played about 2,200 games. Ruth played 2,500. If Williams kept playing, Williams missed 3 or 4 years in the military. It's possible that Ted Williams in his prime could have had even a better on base. He could have been the first player to have a career 500 on base percentage if he had played those 3 or 4 extra years that he served in the military. Don't you agree on that one? Ted Williams, he lays the claim. Greatest on base percentage baseball player of all time, on base. And Ruth, 474, he had a 545 one year. Williams has the 553 as his best. How about Billy Hamilton's 455? That's pretty respectable. He had a 521. And then the other guys I mentioned that were able to do a 500 or better for a season. Roger Hornsby's 507. Mickey Mantle's 512. Ed Delante's 500. Joe Kelly, 502. And the other guy, Hugh Duffy's 502. Those are the only guys. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only 8 players in the Baseball Hall of Fame were able to have a 500 or better on-base percentage in a season. Isn't that remarkable? Half the time on base. You play 150 games, 160 games, and you got on base half the time. All right, that covers this video. Thanks for watching. We'll finish up the on base and look at all the other guys and the rankings of the 169 I'm covering next video. Thanks for watching. I'm out.